I agree with you.
All right, everybody, we're live at Frightmare HQ. I'm here with my host, Charles Doze, and
Hey, everybody.
we're also here live with Kathleen Kinmont, today's host.
Hey,
Thanks, everybody.
Kathleen.
How's it going?
Good. How are you
Hey,
doing?
how you
I,
doing?
I'm well, thank you. I'm safe and well at home here in Los Angeles, following all the protocol, trying to keep it together.
I heard that. It's kind of rough right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's kind of rough. I think we're definitely in the rough territory. I was just talking to my manager, Chris Rowe, a few minutes ago about how this could be the calm before the storm. Feels like it
Yeah.
could possibly be more in store, and that we really have to make our own personal ship shape as much as possible, mentally, physically, emotionally. Get ready for it because it doesn't feel like it's going to be over for a bit. So that's intense. It's
Yeah.
scary. It's like a frightmare weekend.
It
Yeah.
Like
is.
just
Yeah.
lasting and lasting and
A
lasting.
nonstop Frightmare weekend. It just keeps going on and on.
Yeah, it's Groundhog's Day Frightmare weekend.
So, how you been keeping busy? You've been stuck in the house. How you been keeping busy?
Well, I will tell you how I've been keeping busy, Carlos. I'm so glad you asked. I have finished my book. I have completed a book that has been really in a decade long work zone, and it is now complete and now available. The title, I don't know if you're able to see it because it's backwards and I've got light shining on it. The title is I Should Have Been Nicer to Quentin Tarantino and Other Short Stories of Epic Fails and Saves,
All
written
right.
by me
So
completely.
we don't want to give away the book and why, but we got to know why it's titled that. Was there an incident or what happened?
There was an incident. He was in my very first acting class. I was 16, riding my bike to class. My mother is an actor, Abby Dalton, and she said, if you want to be an actor, go to class. So I started with an adult theater that was outside of school. And in that group were a lot of adults primarily, and a couple of teenagers, me, Quentin, and a friend of mine, Jackie. And he was, Quentin, young and excited and writing. And, he wasn't Quentin Tarantino yet. He was just Quentin at the back of the class who wanted to do a kissing scene with me really badly. And I was just, still learning. I was like still learning how to play a screwed up teenager, amidst grown-ups. And it was just, recognizable actors. So I was really intimidated from the very get-go. But I told the coach, just like, please, under no uncertain terms, and put me in a scene with him. He's got so much energy. I don't even know what to do with my own. And he was like, no, that's okay. Well, you'll work with the adults a lot more. And boy, do I regret that. But
Hindsight, right?
yeah, and we've worked with quite a few of the same people. K&B Effects Group are his primary special effects makeup crew. And of course, they are the geniuses behind the creation of the Bride of Reanimator. And, he's worked with Danielle Harris, and they're good friends. And of course, Danielle is the wonderful actor from Halloween 4 and 5 and all the other Halloweens. And so I mean, we've run into each other, and I ran into him at the DGA Awards when he was nominated for Inglorious Bastards, and this was 10 years ago. And I was with my very good friend Tanya McKiernan, who is Stephen Cannell's daughter, and she's a television director. So she invited me to the DGAs, and we're at the way back, and I see him and I'm like, oh my God, and they played a 10-minute trailer for his Inglorious Bastards masterpiece. And I leaned over to Tanya and I said, God, I should write a book called I Should Have Been Nicer to Quentin. Because you must. And I'm like, I must what? She goes, what, write the book? And she goes, no, you must go up there and tell him that before we leave tonight. So I was like, oh, well, let's just see if he wins or not. And he didn't. Catherine Bigelow won for The Hurt Locker, which was huge because she was the first female director to win the DGA. And so it wasn't his big moment. So I felt kind of comfortable going up and saying, hey, so I did. And I went, hey, congratulations on your life. Let's just start with that. And all the great things you've done. And I just want you to know that one day I'm going to write a book called I Should Have Been Nicer to Quentin Tarantino. And he went, ha, 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 ha. He kind of got the so I'm like, that might be a really good title for a book. If it's a funny title, it's a funny title, and it really does mean something to me because I do know the man. I've watched him, explore his genius for years, like everybody else. And to have that moment where he first started out as an actor and was creating the, neutron bomb in the back of the class on his yellow pad and pens. And I mean, it's been cool to really watch him go for that great ride. So that's
a great story.
Thanks. And the rest of the book is just like other epic fails and saves of my life. So I talk about a lot of different things, a lot of different people. I do my best not to throw anybody else under the bus except for myself repeatedly. And it's been a great journey. I highly recommend people to, if you don't want to write all your fails, just write down a few of them. It kind of releases you from them in a really profound way.
I just put up the photo of the book. We've got it on screen right now. So where can you buy it? Where can you buy the book?
The book is now available on my website, KathleenKinmont.com. And also my other book is available there too. If you have kids that like horses or unicorns or Pegasus, anything to do with a four-legged creature that you can love like this. This is my book that I released at the early beginning of the year called Magic and Beauty. And that's also on the website. It's my take on the creation of the world, because who's going to sue me? We should all take a stab at it.
That's the best kind of book to write that no one can sue you for.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Magic and Beauty looks really good too. I saw some pictures from this on interview you did with Flapper Press, and I was reading it. A couple months ago, and it looks really great. So, I mean, if you guys have kids, I definitely recommend grabbing that because I think it'd be a fun read between everyone and their children.
Thank you, Carlos. Yes, the lovely Elizabeth Grayson featured me on her fabulous website. She's all about the Gen Z collective and really uplifting our youth right now, because we've certainly handed them a boatload of problems, but she's really about helping and finding solutions, being part of the solution, and that's a great site to go to. And she's great. She and I have been friends for a very long time. She guested on Renegade, and I was like, oh, you're going to be my friend. You're awesome. And Kristana Loken, who's also a really wonderful friend of mine, the actress from T3, and Elizabeth Grayson was the actress from The Highlander, so we'll give her those props as well. She's so talented. But Kristana, who has a 4-year-old son, Thor, he loves this book. And I mean, he's like, I want Magic and Beauty. And I'm like, we all want Magic and Beauty. Yes, we need a lot more of that in our life. But it's nice to know that, I'm going to go see them tomorrow. And he loves that I wrote this book, and the beautiful illustrations by April Ballantyne. I didn't do the illustrations, but she did the fabulous illustrations.
Oh, nice. I was going to ask you to do the illustrations because I saw some of them, and they're very good.
Yes. She's a tattoo artist from Detroit, Michigan. And she is the cousin to one of my producing partners, Lisa Marie Wilson, who I had a comedy web series with her, Video Breakups. When you're tired of talking texts and Post-its, you met online, you might as well end it there too. So we had that going for us for a while. But she turned me on to her. Yeah, it's fun. It's still up there. There's a lot of funny stuff. And she turned me on to her cousin, and that's really what it's about, this business. And you guys know it's about the relationships and connecting people together. And boy, are we really realizing that right now?
It's more important than ever.
It's more important, remember who you're nice to. You got to be nice to everybody, because you never know when it's going to come back,
That's the truth.
Thus, I should have been nicer to Quentin Tarantino. Well, I'm looking at your website. It's KathleenKinmont.com, so everybody can go there. She has a paperback version, a hardback, and a autographed hardcover special edition that's limited to 200 numbered and signed editions. So make sure you check that out. I see you've also got the restorative core yoga book, which that's a video. Yeah, now streaming on Prime.
On Prime.
Yeah. Actually, I did that video 8 years ago, and I also did that video this morning. So I am a true believer in yoga, and just, my gosh, these days where we're really required to stay in more than ever, it's so vital to have some kind of prison workout that that makes you feel like I did something, and it clears the stress in the mind. I mean, it's not just clearing the mind, it's specifically clearing out the stress and the fear and the worry. And I'll tell you, there's something about deep breathing and stretching that is just a whole biorhythm answer to our body. The first thing that the frontline people will tell you is breathe, and we got to keep breathing and doing that properly, and getting it deep breaths all the way into our diaphragm and releasing it all the way out it's a cleanser. And we've all, I watched this video on this little girl. I mean, this little girl represented the entire world to me. She was talking about everything that shut down. The ice cream truck is shut down. McDonald's is shut down. Like, it's her favorite restaurant. All these things are shut down, and the tears were coming down and hitting her bib. And it was just like, oh my God, I feel you. And we are, the one thing that's not shut down is us. Our point of view, what we put into our mouth, what comes out of our mouth, how we treat ourselves and how we treat each other and our family and our friends and our community and our world. And it's like, that's the thing that's not shut down. So I just wanted to get that out there, that we were built for something bigger.
Well, do you think that we are better prepared in this time for something like this, for this pandemic and for the shutdowns and everything, because we have tools like meditation and yoga? And do you think we're better prepared now than people were in 1918 when the Spanish flu broke out? Or
well, we certainly have more opportunity to get the information out than they did in 1918. What they do, put up a sign on a post that says, if you're not wearing a mask, you go to jail. I mean, and they still have records of that stuff. That was like that was like, and they had to. I mean, it feels kind of soft in a way of like, well, wear a mask if you feel like it, even though we know it's going to save people's lives.
Yeah.
It's like asking parents if they're prepared to have a baby or not. You just do it. There's no university or qualifying certificate or license you need to get to have a child. I kind of feel like maybe 50 years from now, they might rethink that there should be some kind of 3-month boot camp, because everything starts with parenting. We can't blame schools. We can't blame the police force. It starts with people that are having kids. And I think that if we as a collective society really respect our children, really respect each other, then we are prepared. That's, we've got all the resources.
Yeah.
We've got all the people willing to be like, I'll make masks. I've got a friend of mine who's an actress who's helping build shields. She would have never thought that she would have had this job 6 months ago. And I think that people, as long as, like you said, you know, where can I be of service? If that's how we wake up, instead of like, holy shit, this is all happening to me and it sucks so bad, and oh God, this is so horrible, and blame, blame, blame. It's like, where can I fix, A, starting me, B, my fellow person in my house, C, being kind to the rest of the people that are out there, by protecting myself and protecting them. I think it's pretty easy. It doesn't feel that, I mean, like we're so programmed now to see what do we have in our cupboards, who do we have in our life, what's in my drawers. We've all kind of gone through the, you know, the scrolling of like, what do I got? What do I have? What's in my bank account? How am I going to do this? Da, 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 da. You know, like it becomes like, okay, now we got to just go, like, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this.
One step at a time. One step at a time.
One step at a time.
I've thought it was amazing, you know, before they're mandated in Texas now, masks are, finally. And I thought it was amazing before nobody was wearing masks, but as soon as you say, well, it's a law, then everybody's like, well, okay, if I got to, you know.
Sure, that's like the same type of law that says it's against the law to kill somebody. It's against the law to rape someone. It's against the law to beat your kid. It's against the law to beat your spouse. It's against the law to speed or drink and drive. It's against the law, you know, like, okay, fine, make it a law. It takes the guesswork out. It takes the people going like, should I or shouldn't I? Are my rights being compromised? I don't know what right that is. Is it the Fourth Amendment? What is it?
One of the amendments. I think, yeah, you give everybody some great wisdom. I think everybody needs to start by doing Kathleen's yoga in the morning and just think about how you can cleanse yourself and then cleanse everybody else, because that's what we're trying to do here, right? We need to.
Absolutely. We got to start with, you know, there's a great song that goes, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. It's very simple. And listen, and you know, amidst all the other turmoil, I know that people have got tons of stuff going on, and it's difficult, but it's practice. Yeah. And you got to ignore button on the stuff that isn't serving you anymore. And that's a practice too, because we get kind of indignant in our justifiable anger, and anger is an energy. I think it's important to have it. It gets people moving, gets people to do stuff that, like, God, I'm so mad about that and I need to do something. It's like, yeah, go. You know, just make sure you're not adding more to the...
You gotta know where to channel it, right? You gotta know where to channel it.
Right, to the bonfire of hate. Like, let's just step out of that.
Well, and that's what this show's all about. You know, we're all a big family in the horror community. You know that. And so this is an outlet for, you know, just the everyday craziness. We all get to enjoy something that we all love. And do you mind answering a question from a fan? I have a question here.
Of course, I'd love to.
Okay. Argento Fan 1 is asking, I was wondering what Donald Pleasance was like on Halloween 4.
He was toasty.
That's a great word.
He was so pleasantly pleasant, you know, just very kind, and he really knew how to maximize his time in front of the camera, because his time on the sidelines was very reserved, and he always had a little red cup going. I mean, granted, it was nighttime and it was, you know, but he had his little red cup, and he was just one of those actors that was an actor's actor, and you could feel him percolating and bubbling, and it was like, you know, he was a classically trained, you know, major actor, and for him to take the real care that he gave and the giving of all of himself in a film that is like a horror film and a genre film, and you know, it's kind of like, God, you know, he was inspiring, really, really inspiring to see somebody that cares tremendously, never phoning it in, but having his own little, his own little cup there, and being just, I asked him quite a few questions about acting, and he was very, very generous and totally like, he appreciated it. I think he was like probably not a place where he thought, oh, I'm going to be answering acting questions with these young kids on the set of. I grew up in an acting family, so I love picking the brains of how people do their process a bit and finding out what works for them, because it's such an art form, and everybody has their own brush strokes and their own color palette and their own real niche, their brand, kind of, because we're just presenting ourselves in somebody else's clothing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. You got to use those opportunities. Working with actors like that, it's great to use those opportunities.
Absolutely. I mean, seize the day. And I've always been. I'm a fanboy, a fangirl, or whatever. But I think that when people are interested in you, and that kind of makes you a little bit more interesting to them.
That's a great way to talk about.
He's someone that I would have loved to meet.
I'm so fascinated. I'm sorry, what?
I was just saying he's someone I would have loved to meet, to have met. Donald Pleasance and Peter Cushing, too, just absolute legends in this genre. And wow, what a blessing that you got to work with him.
Yeah.
Yes, I really, after writing this book and going through my career and seeing how many incredibly extraordinary people that I've met in the entertainment industry, I feel very, very fortunate. And the people that are even in my own management group, I'm such a fan of. Really, all of them. They're so talented, and I love actors. I love the whole thing. I love the artistry of what K&B does. Being able to watch someone like Quentin from the very get-go of his career and see where he's at now. And, he was probably working at Blockbuster at that time and just, creating all the things that had never been thought of before. And I dig it. I find that I have a lot of gratitude for it. Let me put it that way. I don't take it for granted at all. I have great respect for the people that I've worked with. I mean, Nick Vallelonga, who actually wrote the foreword for my book, won the Academy Award for Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay for Green Book a couple years ago. And, I mean,
that was.
What a great movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's him taking a story from his own personal family life and putting it from his mind through the pen onto the paper, and look at what that does. That's such magic, and that to me is it's a strong discipline, and it's a beautiful offering to do that, because artists need to paint their pictures and then they need to put it on a wall so you can see it, or they stuff it in their closet and go it sucks and nobody, and then they just doubt themselves. But I think it takes a lot of bravery to write something that's very personal and then have it thrown up there for everyone to critique.
It's a good way to reflect on yourself, like you're saying, when you can own up to maybe some of the stuff you've made a mistake on. Like you said, it really helps you move forward and cleanse yourself, like we were talking about, not try to shove it away and forget about it.
Very true. You're right, Carlos, because there's only so long we can push stuff under the rug. And if it's holding us back in any way, or we feel like we're giving it power and not allowing us to have this free and clear vessel, it's go ahead, make fun of me. Sure, I've pooped my pants. It happens. I mean, I've had things that have gone down where I'm not too proud, or I wish I could have done it over, or this and that. And then once you've let that go, I mean, they say in therapy, write it down and burn it. or write it down and get a publisher.
Yeah, that's the way to monetize it. Somebody is on the stream said that Kathleen is a hell of a dancer too. Did y'all see her shaking it at last year at the karaoke? I missed that. I didn't know you were a great dancer too.
Well, you know what? It's interesting. Well, thank you for that kudos. That was a really fun party, by the way. And the tequila was flowing in Texas that night.
Always is.
My boots were on, and I was ready for a good time. And I found it. I've actually, in the last couple of years, I've taken up ballroom dancing. So that's given me quite a few new moves with the rhythm section of ballroom, like the merengue, the salsa, the rumba, all these really fun. So now I've got these dance moves, and I can do them with or without a partner. It really doesn't matter. So these days I've been doing a lot of dancing with my computer, which is not that much fun.
It's a little different.
I want to ask about Reanimator. That makeup that you did in Reanimator is insane. How long did that take to apply that makeup, and how many days did you have to go through that?
That was the standard by which I measure everything else in my life, quite honestly. And then comes birth, and then comes catching a foul ball. I seriously, my hat is off to K&B Effects Group for creating that monster. And it took 6 hours to apply. And it took about 3 hours to get it off. I would work probably about 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours, I would say, in between. They gave me full 24-hour turnarounds because I was working almost 24 hours. So thankfully to the union and to the consideration of production, they allowed me to recover a bit, because getting all that glue off is hard. And we glue it onto the skin, a couple of days later, it's still sore. I compared myself to Karen Silkwood after an acid bath scrubbing with a barbecue.
That's a good comparison.
And brush.
Yeah.
And it was a prosthetic. The bodysuit went down one arm, down my torso, and then down the opposite leg. So I had one arm exposed and one leg exposed, which they marbleized and glued other open pieces of flesh on and painted them and put blood on them, shined them up. And it was, and then they backcombed my hair and made my hair, the hair was probably the most painful part, because I'd just be like crying at the end of the night, like, oh my God, just like, me in the bathtub at the end of the night was really where the Bride of Reanimator came out. And then I would just kind of swirl down the drain, and I'd be like, oh God, do I really have to go back? But, Jeffrey Combs and Bruce Abbott made that experience so much fun. We would just be laughing most of the time, and which was great for my psyche, because I couldn't sit down and eat at the tables with everybody. One, because I was repulsive and nobody really wanted to look at me while they're eating their SpaghettiOs. And number two, I couldn't really sit down. They had to build a lean-to for me. I don't know if you guys know what a lean-to is. It's like, where you're just kind of leaning up against a wall, but they had to give me somewhere where I could sit. So they cut off a bicycle seat, which was very reminiscent of the Halloween 4 when I got bludgeoned with a sawed-off shotgun. I don't know what it is with me and bicycle seats, but they put this bicycle seat on this lean-to, and they covered it with lamb skin, so at least it was cozy. But I would just kind of like lay there, like, and wait for them to set up another shot, and I'd eat minimal food during the day and drink minimal water because it was very hard to use the restroom. And it was just, yeah, it was, you know, they created the character within that costume because by the time I stepped on set, I was like,
you were angry. I can imagine.
You were angry.
So angry. I do talk about on Bride of Reanimator in my book. So I go into even further detail, which is fun. Yeah, because those three guys, man, Greg, Howard, and Bob, they were all over me for days. Nice treat.
Richard Rodriguez says, got a question. And he says, a question for Kathleen. What moment would you say was your most regretful? And what would you have done differently career-wise? That's a kind of on-the-spot question. You don't have to answer that.
That's a tough question, Loyd.
I like the challenge. You know, there was a moment on Renegade. I mean, I loved working on Renegade. Renegade was a real blast for me. But there was so much inner Shakespearean turmoil going on that show because Lorenzo and I were married. And then we weren't, and I worked with him. And so we split up in the middle of the second season, you know, 22 episode shows, and that goes on for like 6 to 8 months out of the year. And you're like in month 4, and you know, he's like, I don't feel like it anymore. And I'm like, holy shit, you know, and everyone on the crew was so bummed out, and you know, I wanted to quit, and I didn't. I stayed on, and then like around the end of the 4th season, I mean, this is a regret that I did, you know, it wasn't really a job, but it was, I guess, going on the Howard Stern show and being so tired and not having any filter whatsoever got me fired from Renegade. So I believe like that was a career regret, because I never wanted to be fired off of anything. I think we all get fired off of something one way or the other, you know, some way it doesn't work out. But yeah, I think I hurt Lorenzo's feelings. I screwed up a show. I screwed up a couple shows because of that. So that's a regret, is saying something crappy about somebody, especially when they're on the radio and they're in their car on the way to work and you have to work with them that day. It was a cornucopia of regret. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about nowadays, but the Howard Stern show used to be kind of a minefield. So, you know, a lot of people were kind of afraid to go on that show. So I don't know that I would totally blame you for that.
I wouldn't blame her for that either.
Yeah, thank you. But you know, we are in control of what comes out of our mouth.
That's very true.
You can get faded all day long, and if you have some control, then you can walk away and not have to apologize for anything. And I've had to learn that, because I can be pretty flippant and not think like, oh, well, what are the repercussions of that? I was just being funny, you know. And I was really being honest is what I was being, but I answered it with a very solid no filter.
Yeah. It happens, you know, and I don't know if anybody hasn't seen Renegade. Renegade's actually a great show, so I'd recommend everybody checking it out. And it's kind of interesting you brought that up, because I always kind of wondered what happened to your character on Renegade. So now you answered it for me, so thank you.
Yeah, she got shit canned. Yeah, she got scrubbed, and you know, it was so unceremonious, and that's what I think. I regret that, because that character was a really great character and one of the greatest characters I've ever had an opportunity to play. She was a badass, and she, you know, she was single, and she was very strong, and you know, she deserved more than just being like removed and never to be spoke of again. So I hold myself accountable for that. I really do. I think that was a poor choice. I mean, granted, given the whole circumstances of everything that was going on, nobody will blame me when they read, because I write about it in the book. When you read about what I was going through, I had truly hit my own personal ceiling on the shenanigans that were going down on that set and everything that I was being asked to do. It was like what we were saying, Carlos, you can only sweep stuff under the rug for so long. It will eventually bubble up, or you'll trip on it or something.
Yep. It'll blow out, like, it'll come back to you.
Yeah, you're like, what did I do with that dead rabbit? What is that?
There it is.
I've got another good question. I really like this one. Striker87 asks, question for Kathleen: is there another horror franchise you would be interested in being a part of? You're already part of Halloween. You're part of the Halloween franchise, Re-Animator. What else would you really love to be a part of?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
Because Johnny Depp was in that one. And I have a story about me and Johnny Depp in here, too. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You got a lot of fun stories. I can't wait to read it. You got to decide.
Should you have been nicer to Johnny Depp, or were you nice to Johnny Depp?
No, I was really nice to Johnny Depp.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he was super nice to me, too. He was a really good guy.
He seems like
he's not what you think. It's not what you think, but it's a really.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was like, okay.
I don't know. I was thinking the opposite.
Telling at this point, I'm not a kiss and teller. I don't do that. I think that there's way more things that are way more fascinating and interesting than that. That's so easy, like, who did I have sex with in this town? I was like, yeah, I mean, like, kind of.
Well, Johnny Depp just seems like he would be a nice guy to hang out and chill with. I don't know why, but he seems like a nice guy, and all the stuff that's out about him right now with his ex, it just seems crazy, and I don't believe a word of it.
Well, yeah, it's really unfortunate when people feel like the only way they can keep hurting you is by attacking you in the press and attacking you in your. He's a huge celebrity. He's a huge star. So anything that is said about him, people are going to be like, ooh, what? And, it's really unfortunate. Yeah. But my encounter with him was very cool. And it was brief, but it was monumental to me. And I had a witness. So.
Very nice.
Well, Todd Seeley says he just ordered your book. So we just sold a book. Sold a book. Keep it up, guys. Yeah, please go and purchase the book. It sounds like a fantastic read. I can't wait to read it myself.
I can't either.
Thank you. I can't wait for you guys to read it. You can maybe bring me back after you read it. We can ask more questions.
You can ask about some stories.
Yeah.
I watched a movie with your mom a couple weeks ago, Stakeout on Dope Street. And I've always wondered, did your mom help you with any roles? Did she ever give you pointers? Did you ever go to her for help? Anything like that? Because she was on a lot of stuff.
Oh my God. Well, she won an Emmy. Or wait, no, she was nominated for an Emmy on Hennessy, excuse me. Which is almost like winning if you're nominated. She's had an incredible career, and I to her, and she was like a prince, incredibly generous, always welcoming, loved having the questions, gave me honest, considerate answers. She was the one who told me to go to acting class. She, as soon as I completed a couple years of that, she was like, let's get you some headshots. Let's get you, an agent. So she got me in with her agent. She took care of me. She never competed with me. She was always honest. I mean, she'd give me criticism and compliments simultaneously. So I never felt attacked. I felt like supported, because as an actor, you better know how to take direction.
Yeah.
That's why the director is there. You're not going to go out there and be like, I nailed it. My mom loved it.
Yeah.
Like you got to be ready. And like my mom was great actor and funny and dramatic, and she had a full wheelhouse, and her love of the craft never waned. And she she was in my I directed a short film that I wrote along with my brother Matt, and it's called Mrs. Sweeney, and my younger brother Johnny helped us produce it. And she's the title character, Mrs. Sweeney, and it's really great. I'm thinking about probably getting it up on my website and having do like a $2 rental or a $10 download or something. But it's really great, and she's so marvelous in it. She was 80 years old when we did this, but yeah, she's always been game. She's always been a huge mentor for me completely, and I respect her so much, and I love her, and she's still with us, and she's doing well, and she's 87. She's gonna be 88 in August. And
so amazing. When you see her, tell her I love Stakeout and Dope Street. When you tell her it's still out there and we still love it,
I will. That was a Roger Corman film, and I got my start in a Roger Corman film too, Phoenix the Warrior. And Quentin has this theater in LA. It's the Beverly. I think it's called the Beverly.
Yes, the Beverly Theater.
Right. And he played that movie. He played Stakeout on Dope Street. And what was really cool is that this was like 3 or 4 years ago, and his theater is a reel-to-reel, so it's it's only showing cinema in the can. And
35mm, yeah, that's the one way to watch it.
I don't know how to say it. I'm so lame. And so they let us know, and they asked if my mom wanted to come and do a Q&A, and she was like, yes. So at that time, Courtney Gaines, who's also with Chris Rowe Management, who I've known since the beginning of my career from Hard Bodies. And then I got him a job with Branscombe Richmond, who produced The Silent Natural that we did in Kentucky a couple of years ago. So that was really fun. Like, hey, Branscombe, can Courtney be in the movie too? You're like, my dad's got a barn. Let's go. So Courtney and I, at that time, we had an acting class that we had put together. So we brought all the acting class kids and all the people, and we went to this showing of Stakeout on Dope Street at the Beverly, and my mom got up there and did a Q&A that was for the ages. It was so priceless.
Is it available anywhere to watch the Q&A? Is it on YouTube or maybe something?
No, I wish I had the wherewithal to set up some lights and cameras and recorded that. I didn't. Unfortunately, I just have stills from that night. But yeah, that was. She got up there and somebody asked her a question about, like, do you remember something, and she was like, no, I don't remember that, but I do know this. Once your memory goes, just forget about it.
That's a great life motto. Just forget about it.
Do you have a favorite role of yours that you've done? Is there anything that stands out, horror or not? Just something that, whether you really enjoyed the role or you enjoyed working with the other people, the favorite standout role?
God, well, I really loved Renegade. I said that, but I also really enjoyed working with Nick Vallelonga on The Corporate Ladder. That was a pretty great role for me, because that was me and just being a vicious, angry, revengeful. I don't know why actors really love playing the bad guy, but I guess it kind of gets out that angst of just, being able to say and do the things you're thinking but can't because you're going to get in trouble. I guess that's kind of, maybe that's why we love horror films, seeing the things that go just step outside the box. We all toe the line, and then you get to kind of be given a little hall pass every once in a while to just go out and, there was you remember I don't know if you guys were ever fans of Mad Magazine, but I used to read that magazine all the time.
Oh yeah.
That comic part where it's like the shadow And like the shadow would always be like, ah, and the person would be like, oh, thank you so much.
I love that magazine. That's crazy that you read Mag Magazine also.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, I loved it. It was the first time I had ever read the word idiot. And I was so young, I didn't really know how to pronounce that word. I was like, idiot? What is that? What's an idiot?
One of my favorite issues was one that came out right before History of the World, Mel Brooks's History of the World, and it had a tear out record in it that it was just a piece of plastic, but you could actually put it on your record player, and they played the Inquisition song. That's what was on it. And I still, to this day, I listen to it so much, I still to this day know every word to the Inquisition.
You have to rehearse it for us, Loyd. You have to give us a performance of it. Okay?
Don't even tempt me. I could sing it right now, Charles.
Well, I know the preamble to the what is it? We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. That's for the amendments, right? Or the Constitution. It's a preamble to the Constitution of the United States. Yeah, that was from Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock. Yep, I was gonna say, I'm just a bill.
No, Capitol.
Yeah, working up on Capitol Hill.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey guys, stick around. We're gonna sing all of the old Schoolhouse Rocks coming right up.
Coming right up, start to finish. Get ready.
This is great. Somebody also just. What was that?
I said Texas Frightmare is now School of Rock.
Yeah, well, that's such a big part of our childhood from back then, because we grew up with it. We watched it religiously every Saturday. I got up that was probably the only week or day of the week that I woke up so early and excited to go. The rest of the week my mom had to knock me out of the bed, but Saturday morning I was up with my cereal and Schoolhouse Rock and all of the cartoons, man. Great memories.
Yes, that was our wonder years.
We need more Schoolhouse Rock nowadays, because it really was fun educational stuff for kids, and I think kids still need to be watching Schoolhouse Rock.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can say thank you to Lin-Manuel for creating Hamilton. I mean, that's kind of my daughter's Schoolhouse Rock. I mean, she's even got the commemorative magazine, and she's 15 and a half, and boy, does she know all those songs. And those songs have really taught her about a primary historical figure that never made it into the White House, but had all these aspirations and had, and I was like, oh God, I never really knew about Alexander Hamilton. What a wonderful, brilliant, contemporary way to bring out historical figures and all of that is still sweeping our nation. Like, we're in the same type of history repeat. And how do we change? What do we do? Where do I sign the bill, Bill?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's good to have outlets like that, because as we go on, it seems like the history books in school are just starting to omit more and more stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that people just don't realize happened. So when there's stuff like that comes out, Hamilton or Schoolhouse Rock, it really helps people understand more about the history of America, and it's really great to see.
What a concept when we actually put a tune to something that could otherwise be very flat and boring. And when we create music and visuals that are stimulating to open up our mind and become like this little pledge of allegiance to our brain and to our creativity, then we it's a flow. It's like the same way, like if you go to see anyone really who makes you laugh, and now they've got you in the palm of their hand, you can pretty much guide them into wherever hopefully it's a good place. But like, laughter is that way of opening up the heart and getting people to be vulnerable. And the same way with music, I think. Thank God for our artists, who are probably going to be the last to get out there again. I mean, I think about the writers will write. We will always keep creating, but you have to have those performers and those people, and then getting them into spaces where they're all going to feel safe. And I'm not just talking about the acting world. I'm talking about musicians and other people that rely on an audience. And this, this audience, we are the people that are like, please give us more content because it's helping me get through my day. Like the songs and the shows and the films. I just watched Honey Boy last night. Oh my God, how great is that movie? Have you seen that?
I've heard it's good. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list.
Oh.
I missed what was the name of the movie?
It's called Honey Boy.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, I highly recommend it. Shia LaBeouf wrote a beautiful story about his dad. Once again, here's another, our stories mean something, and they inspire people and they open people up and they create a compassion. And I think that's just one of the greatest ways we can connect is by observing that, look, if you have something that is important to you, chances are it might be important to somebody else too. So
very true.
Yeah, I love that movie. I also am a big fan of Yellowstone right now. Are you guys watching that?
I'm not watching that. No.
Well, you've got the hat, Loyd. You've got the cowboy hat.
I know.
This show is like Deadwood meets Breaking Bad meets House of Cards meets Bonanza.
Oh wow.
It's so
that sounds like it's up my alley.
I hear a lot of praise for that show.
Yeah.
So I'll put it on my queue now.
Yeah, put it on your queue because it looks real pretty, but boy, it gets pretty ugly, and I like that. That's fun. Yeah,
I like that too.
Yeah, we like a little bit of grit.
I think
we're the horror genre. We need some blood and guts every once in a while.
Kevin Costner's in Yellowstone, isn't he? I think I have that already saved to watch.
Sure is. Oh yeah, it's his show. He's one of the executive producers, and he's got his thumbprint on everything. You know who else is in this show? Who I'm crazy about right now is Cole Hauser.
Cole Hauser.
Oh God, I didn't even know who this guy was. And I'm like, this guy is so great, and I love this character he's playing. And I have a feeling that he's like, he's really created a character, and he has, because he's darkened his hair, he's given himself a whole nother look, and he's a badass. And I'm like, God, Cole Hauser. And then I start doing the filmography because I'm such a nerd on stuff like that. I love to know about people. And
so are we.
He's the son of Wings Hauser. And Wings is an actor and a director who directed me and acted with me in this movie called The Art of Dying. And there's a PM Entertainment film, and I got to ride a horse in that. And, I'm just like, oh my God. And then I'm going deeper, and I'm like, this guy, he's the great-grandson of one of the Warner Brothers brothers.
Oh, that's a nice way to go through. I mean, I remember Cole Hauser way back in like Dazed and Confused when he did that, like in '93. But I didn't realize he had family that went back to like the Warner Brothers. That's so interesting.
Yes, his mom's dad was one of the Warner. He has a Warner history, and I just find that that's so cool. Like people that are like so inundated in it, and they're still going for it. They love it, and he's created his own fan base, his own, and my friend Sasha Jensen was in Dazed and Confused. Sasha, who played the, what character was his name again in Halloween 4? Brady.
Brady, yeah.
Brady, are you coming in or what?
I'm kind of like you. I mean, I call it the film rabbit hole because I watch a movie, then I just start getting into more and more. I mean, before I know it, I'm like 50 years before that movie was made, and all kinds of stuff happening. So same way here.
I love that. I was actually thinking about doing like in my book, in the Kindle form, if you're reading it on ebook, is to like give each reference its own like little, like you could type it in and be like, okay, now I'm on a Renegade tangent, and now I'm on a Reanimator. You know, you can kind of go here and there, but it's like, let's let people just read the book.
No, I love that idea. Have it like hyperlink off to something that'll teach you more about it. I mean, I love that ideal. That's so fun.
Did you just come up with that? Hyperlink off?
Hyperlink off. That's what we're doing. That's what we're gonna call it.
That's so fun. I'm gonna use that when I'm driving in my car and I want somebody to move. Hyperlink off.
Hyperlink off now. It was so great getting to talk to you. I mean, we really enjoy having you on, and getting to hear some of the stories. And I'm really looking forward to the book. I'm sure we'll get some, and hopefully we can have you back at some point, right, Loyd?
Absolutely. And looks like Kid at Heart said that they just bought an autographed copy. So
oh my God!
selling more books. You guys keep buying those books. It's at KathleenKinmont.com. Please go and buy a book. Is there anything else that you've got coming up that you want to talk about, or any websites or anything?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, you guys are great. I would love to come back, and I really thank you for having me on. And thank you to everyone who's going onto the site and ordering a book. I really appreciate that. And by the way, when you order on my site, a portion of the proceeds will go to my favorite charity, which is the Trevor Project, and that is a hotline, helpline for teens of the LGBTQ community. And I have a very special place in my heart for this really wonderful group that does so much good for our youth. And I have a web series called Phoenix, which is kind of awesome because it's a full circle of my career again. I just keep getting followed by a phoenix. Phoenix the Warrior was my very first lead, and that's a great Roger Corman film that I actually got busted by SAG for, because I was 18 and I had no idea that I wasn't supposed to do a non-union film once I was in the union, and yeah, I got in trouble. Martin Landau had me at the big table and gave me a big talking to. Fortunately, I didn't get kicked out, and I've been a great standing member ever since. But this is a really wonderful series that Lauren Price and a lot of really wonderful actors. Grace Byers is in it, and a lot of other really wonderful actors. And that's going to be airing soon.
Where can we see that again before you move on?
It's going to be on Amazon.
Amazon Prime? Okay, the Prime Video. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, it's called Phoenix. And then there's another web series that I just did last year called Zoe Valentine. And that's a really sweet show with Anna Cathcart. That she's a big Disney performer, and I got to play a teen grief counselor, which was really nice, because that's who doesn't deal with teen grief?
Yeah.
I've got a 15-year-old, so yeah.
There you go. That's every day, right?
Yeah. These days, it's really vital to focus on what we have right now and not what we don't have.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Be grateful for our health, and just do our best to stay as healthy as possible. That's really the goal right now. Stay physically fit, mentally strong, and emotionally available. So yeah, there could be a lot of crying involved with that, but hey, so what? People
crying is cleansing as well.
It really is. It's like you got to get it out.
You do. And I'm going to be on the lookout for Mrs. Sweeney. So let us know if you add that to your site, because I would love to see that. I will. I'll talk to my site builders at the publishing company and see how we can make that happen, because that's a fun show. It's my version of a Hansel and Gretel, and it's a story about elder abuse and repercussions of that. Be careful. Don't mess with old people.
Not these days.
Not
They
these
could have
days.
been a nom. They could have done a whole lot of things. But old people are pretty badass these days. Don't mess with them.
That's
Very
true.
true.
And
we're
be
gonna
kind to kids.
go ahead.
And I was saying, be kind to kids, and be kind to each other. That's the most important thing. Be
Yeah.
kind
Great
to
word.
one.
Well, I was going to say we're going to keep plugging for you to be in Nightmare on Elm Street. Hopefully, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
There's been
Thank
rumors for years back and forth. We might do one, we might not do one. Robert Englund might be in it. Robert Englund might not be in it. So we'll definitely keep plugging away to get you in the next one, no matter what.
That would be
We're going to
nice.
bring it up all the time. We'll bring it up all the time. Every time we see somebody, be like, hey, Kathleen wants to be in Nightmare on Elm Street. We got to make that happen.
Dream job. And if you can't make that happen, get me on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
What are the other?
But you work on Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll work on Dancing with the Stars, okay?
Okay, great. Or Yellowstone. I can ride a
Or
horse.
Yellowstone.
Yeah, I got three major
All
wishes.
right.
Okay,
got
Aladdin.
homework, Lloyd.
Sam.
We got homework, Lloyd.
Yeah, you have to work it out for you, especially during COVID. This is exciting.
We got time.
Thanks, you guys. This was
Thank
really
you.
a blast.
We
Really.
appreciate you coming on, Kathleen. I know all the watchers and the viewers out there really appreciate it. So take
Yes,
care, hunker down, stay safe, and stay healthy. We appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank
you guys. You too.
Thank
Blessings.
you.
All
All
right.
right. Bye-bye.
She's so great to talk to. Really enjoyed speaking with her.
Wow. Yeah. And she's even more beautiful than I remembered, Charles. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she looks great. I mean, good for her. I mean, I'm real excited to read her book, though. Sounds like a blast. I mean, lots of stories, and one of my next read. I mean, I'm telling you, it sounds so much fun.
And it sounds fun because her attitude is so pleasant about the whole thing. So the book's not going to be a bummer. It's going to be a fun read. It's going to be a way of it sounds introspective without being too downer, I guess is the word for it. It's not going to be a downer. So I'm really looking forward to it. And thanks everybody out there for watching with us and
thanks,
for
everybody.
ordering. Yeah, I keep seeing people pop up and say they ordered a copy as well. So thank you very much. That really feels awesome to know that you guys are engaged like that. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, that's great to know you're engaged. We love having you guys on here with us. We appreciate the support for us and our guests that are on. It's a great time, and we're happy to spend this time with you guys every weekend and kind of just forget about everything that's going on right now. So thank you, everybody.
Absolutely. So, what do we want to talk about now? We got a lot of stuff going on, Charles. I've been busier than I've ever been in my entire life lately.
I know we're just working hard out there. I don't know what we're doing, but it's coming together.
It is.
Well, I guess the first thing is we got our Twitch Prime screening tonight at 7 Central Standard Time. Did we ever figure out what we're watching? I know Scooby D out there picked the movie. Do we know what we're watching?
I can't remember what Scooby D picked, but it's Scooby
right,
D's
Mr.
choice.
We didn't even we got to put a reminder up. We didn't put a reminder up or nothing, Lloyd. What's wrong with us?
I don't know, man. We still got time. We'll promote the hell out of it.
I think it was Train to Busan, but I told Scooby that if he chose Train to Busan, we're going to watch it with no subtitles, and I'm going to reenact the whole movie. So you better think real hard, because
you know what? That's a movie that I wouldn't mind watching again.
I don't mind watching it, but it's hard for me to make fun of these really good movies. What am I supposed to do?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's gonna be a fun night. So that's tonight. That's the Twitch, Amazon Prime watch party with Scooby D co-hosting with us,
Scooby-Dee.
and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. I think this is gonna be a wild one tonight. And it's free, so all you got to do is go to Twitch and watch us.
Yep. Go to Twitch, watch us, enjoy. We have to do a giveaway today, don't we? We have an
autograph giveaway.
We did one from a couple weeks ago, right? Or was
Yep. And I believe it was the Lisa Wilcox photo.
Yeah. We were gonna choose our Twitch people.
So, how are we doing that? How are we gonna choose from a subscriber? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, it was. We're pulling a random Twitch subscriber, and that's gonna be the winner.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull that up, and I'm gonna pull up all of our subscribers, and let me get over to that.
A random one. Yeah, that's cool. We got our Frightmare HQ auction live now. That's supporting Urban Cares. We've already got a lot of bids, so if you guys have bid, we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We're still adding stuff into it. I added some stuff in just before the show, a couple of posters and stuff. So it's really great. You know, we appreciate the support, and we're looking forward to giving back to Urban Cares too, because it's a great organization. Absolutely. And if you haven't found the auction yet, it's on our TexasFrightmareWeekend.com page, and it'll link off to the auction from there. You just have to set up an account on Frightmare. Just set it up. You're good to bid. Just make sure your profile has your name and address in it. You're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, that auction's looking good, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. A lot of bids. Thank y'all. We're donating a portion of that to our preferred charity right now, which is Irving Cares, and Irving Cares is doing a lot of really cool stuff for a lot of people. So, thank you for your support in that.
Thank you.
Do you have a drum roll ready for me? Get me a drum roll, Charles. I need a drum roll on this.
You tell that to all the boys.
I know.
You know what? I don't think I have a drum roll ready, so I'm going to give you this.
That's good enough, Charles. I like it. Okay. So, our winner today of the Lisa Wilcox autograph photo, and we're choosing from our Prime subscribers, our Twitch. Well, it doesn't have to be a Prime, but any subscriber. But the one that I did choose is a fairly new subscriber, and that is Arachne133. Arachne133. The winner. Thank you. And we have a lot of subscribers at this point, and I think it's because everybody is using their Prime. There's a few absolutely that are not, but if you don't know how to use your Prime Twitch subscription, all you have to do is jump in there and go to subscribe on our page and scroll down, and it'll give you a button to use your Prime subscription.
Yep, use your Prime subscription. So we thank you everybody for your support. We love doing this with you guys, so thank you so much. And we're using our new platform, as you guys can see. So if you guys know, if you do a $6.66 donation, it will summon El Diablo. So that's
absolutely. And I just posted the instructions for doing that in the comments, and it's kind of a cool thing. So if you are able to do that, that's really cool. You can bring El Diablo on screen yourself. You don't have to wait for us to do it.
El Diablo, you have to summon El Diablo now. Me and Loyd we trapped El Diablo in a box filled with holy water, and that's the only way to bring El Diablo out. So, sorry.
Exactly. All right.
We also have our Patreon that's open now. So I want to thank all of our Patreon people. We have a few in there now. There's different tiers, and there is a link off to that on our Texas Frightmare Weekend page too. So I want to thank everybody for that. There's, again, 3 tiers on Patreon, but if they're the top tier, the 3rd tier, which is $9 a month, they'll get you a exclusive Frightmare HQ episode, which me and Loyd are planning to do really soon. We're just working on some ideas for it. So, and you get a Discord chat with all of us together. So it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. There's been a lot of chatter going on in the Discord community,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool to see everybody talking to each other, and it's a great way to connect. So you can just go to our Patreon page. It is on frightmarehq.com. Everything that we talk about, we're going to try to get on that page, and most of it's already there. So if you want to jump on frightmarehq.com, you can get more info about Patreon and everything else.
Yep, appreciate it, guys. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, I just want to ask you guys to go down and hit the like button, because that helps us afterwards too for replays. So do that for us. We really appreciate it, everybody.
Smash the like button.
Smash it.
I got another giveaway. Since we just did Kathleen, we might as well give away a Kathleen Kinmont Halloween 4 signed 8x10. And how you want to do it? Do you want to do it subscribers again, Charles? Pick our Twitch subscribers.
Let's do it to get everybody involved. Let's do all of our Twitch subscribers and everybody who is on our Patreon in one.
Okay, so we'll randomly choose between Patreon and Twitch subscribers.
Yeah, so we'll throw everybody in a bucket, and we'll do our magic Loyd and Charles dance, and we'll summon one name, and it'll be the winner, just like that.
Yep, and so just so everybody knows, our next show is not the 8th. Well, it's going to be the 15th, right? Are we still doing a show on the 15th or no, Charles?
Well, I'm doing a show on the 15th. I don't know where you're going to be, Loyd, but I'm doing there. 1989. 1989 is happening, guys. We're closing out the 80s.
Perfect. Well, it's kind of sad that we're done with the 80s. It really is.
Really is sad, but you know what? We're going to move on to the 70s, guys. So we'll start a 70s series. People ask, wanted to do the 90s. I think the 70s is going to be a lot of fun because I feel like there's a lot of movies in the 70s that maybe a lot of people haven't seen, a lot more than the 80s, talking to a lot of people, it seems we're a lot of 80s and 90s focus. And I think there's a lot of stuff, especially from Loyd, that we can pull out of the 70s that be some fun watches for people.
Absolutely. Also want to mention that on Twitch, Wednesday night, we had a really cool raid from Shaggy 2 Dope.
From ICP.
Yeah, from ICP. They raided our channel. Man, that was a blast. It was really cool. I went back and watched it afterwards. I watched their stream, and it was really cool seeing them choose us. So
I'll have to go back and watch it. That's cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
It was really cool. They were just looking to raid a channel, and I think somebody might have suggested that they raid ours, and there were a bunch of suggestions coming up, but they decided to raid ours, so it was really cool. And if any of the Juggalos are watching from that raid, thank y'all for watching today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys. That was a fun chat, and then my office got attacked by El Diablo, and my poster fell down during it. It was real crazy. El Diablo really likes ICP, guys, so El Diablo got really excited, and that's one reason why we had to, we had to bottle up El Diablo. That was one of the reasons. Speaking
of clowns, tomorrow we have a special bonus episode with Billy Pine, Bill Oberst Jr., and Parrish Randall to celebrate their upcoming release of Circus of the Dead. Now, a lot of people have already bought a copy of that quite a while ago, but this is a brand new release. They are re-releasing it through the Dread Central label. Comes out July 14th. That is on their website for $14.99, the brand new Blu-ray. That's a hell of a deal.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a hell of a deal for $14.99. Grab that. We've got links on our Facebook page all over the place for that. So go and grab you a copy of that, and then if you're not a Blu-ray or a physical media type person, then it's coming out July 14th on video on demand also, so you can watch it that way. But tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m. I'm really excited about thinking about talking to Billy Parrish and Bill Oberst.
Yeah, I'm excited too. This is great support. Billy's been a long time supporter of Frightmare as well as Parrish. So it's it's really great, to see this finally coming out for Billy on a great, Blu-ray platform. And we're excited to have him on here and talk to him. So really excited.
Billy, he did Doll Boy and sent that to me years ago. It's a short, and he sent Doll Boy to me a long time ago. And we ended up, I was so impressed with that movie that we ended up playing it at the convention. And he's always said that being at the convention and that support that we gave him was what inspired him to make a feature film, Circus of the Dead. So I love Billy. I think he's a great guy. I love the stuff he makes. Some of it's extremely funny, like Mr. Fister. Have you seen Mr. Fister?
Yeah.
But Doll Boy feels like, kind of the cousin of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then you've got Circus of the Dead that feels kind of the same way as well. So I hope everybody supports Billy on this new release. It's a big platform, bigger than he got for the first round. So I'm really excited for him, and can't wait to talk to him and the rest of the crew tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, guys. I think that's kind of everything we got going on right now. Is that it?
I think we've covered everything, man.
It's a lot going on, guys, but we're having fun with you guys. We love doing this. We love spending this time with you guys. So thank you everybody who's watching still. Tuning in with us. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've got a subscription here from Rift. Has not a subscription, but a follow.
Thanks, Rift.
And we've got some other follows here. I'm going to try to get to them, a couple of them. Maria Pawosa has followed. Triple X Salwayne Triple X has followed us.
Right, Triple X.
So thank y'all very much for the follows and everything else. I think that's about it, man. Should we wrap up and then see everybody else tonight?
Yeah, I think we should, let's wrap it up, guys, and we'll be on tonight for our Twitch Prime screening. We'll make sure to throw a reminder up so everybody can know. I know we usually do them a lot earlier, but it's been a busy week this week. Lots of stuff going on, so.
But beyond us, I mean, we kicked off that auction, and then we installed a new plug-in to our WordPress site so we could do the auction, and we've been programming and all kinds of stuff. Man.
Yeah.
It's just been a crazy week. So
the auction was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that Loyd's the one who found the WordPress plugin. I'm so glad because I spent way too much time trying to build my own auction thing because the only thing we found were like auction platforms that were a lot of money. So I told Loyd I can kind of build my own that'll work. And I did build it, and it worked, but then I realized that every time somebody did something, I had to go back and do like 35 things. And I was like, look.
You put in so much work on that, and I felt bad that I didn't even think about it until you started talking. I don't remember exactly what you said, but it triggered me, and then I was like, oh, wait. I bet WordPress has a plugin for this. So that made it a lot easier.
Scared the hell out of you, Charles.
Yeah, and then last night, the website was acting crazy. Because there were a lot of people looking at it, so I had to go in and clean up some stuff to make it faster. And but it's all good now. If you guys went on last night and looked at the auction and found out that it was giving you a hard time, it's running like a champ now. So go back and check it out. Great. All right. Well, I think that is it, Charles.
That's it.
That's it. You've been watching Frightmare HQ. My name is Loyd Cryer, and I'm here with.
I am Charles Doze, a.k.a. Carlos Blueberry III.
You know what? Before we leave, that reminds me, you had Carlos Blueberry up on your Zoom, and Kathleen kept calling you Carlos.
Well, hey, Carlos is Charles, so, I go by Carlos. It's fine. I'm always Carlos.
That was hilarious.
That's how I live my life. I'm Carlos,
You were Carlos to her. All right, brother. All right, I think that's going to be it. Let's go ahead and sign off. I'll see y'all tonight.
See you guys tonight. Bye, everybody.